Why is it that right after a really, really stressful day at work, we just want to buy something?
Oh, the impulse buy.
Yeah,
Right. Because, I mean, if you think about it, getting ahead financially is supposedly just a math problem.
just numbers on a spreadsheet.
Exactly. You
Oh,
add your income, you subtract your expenses, and, well, the result is just a number. It's clean, it's logical, it's
completely rational, or it's supposed to be.
right, supposed to be. But then you get that literal physical knot in your stomach when you log in to check your bank
Oh,
balance.
I know that not.
Or there's that constant quiet hum of comparison happening in the background every single time you scroll through social media.
Yeah.
Like, if it's just math, why are we so emotional about it?
Because it's not just math, it's a behavioral paradox.
Yeah.
We're navigating this highly complex psychological landscape, but we've, disguised it as a math problem, and that's exactly what we're looking at today. Right. And that's the mission for today's deep dive. Welcome in, everybody. Today we have this incredibly insightful stack of source material that completely deconstructs the money psychology of billionaire Warren Buffett.
We're really pulling apart the mental frameworks he uses, the rules.
Exactly. And the goal here is to help you, the listener, realize that your money problems are rarely just numbers. They're deeply psychological. And by the end of this conversation, we want to equip you with the mental frameworks you actually need to, rewrite your financial future.
Because society really doesn't help us here.
No, not at all.
We attach this massive, heavy shame to money struggles. We're basically taught that if you can't figure out your finances, you are just failing at being an adult.
It's so true. It
Yeah.
feels like a personal failure. So instead of looking at the issue, we just bury it. We
Yeah.
literally hide from the numbers out of pure embarrassment.
Which is so destructive.
Mhm.
But the science in our sources today is so reassuring because it establishes one core truth right away. Our mind is not broken. When you feel that knot in your stomach, or you make that impulse buy, your brain is actually functioning exactly as it evolved to function under pressure.
So it's not a flaw.
No, not at all. And the really cool part is this concept of neuroplasticity. The brain is incredibly adaptable. Whether you're in your 20s forming habits or hitting peak self-doubt in your 30s, or even starting completely over at 45 plus.
Your brain can still change.
Exactly. Purpose-driven financial behavior can actually grow much stronger later in life.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Sure, go for it.
When we talk about, evolutionary wiring and biology, doesn't that sort of give us an out?
How do you mean?
It sounds a bit like we're saying, well, I couldn't help but blow my budget. My biology made me do it. Isn't this just a lack of personal discipline dressed up as science?
That's a super common pushback, and it's valid, but it's really a misunderstanding of behavioral economics.
Okay.
Understanding your baseline isn't an excuse. It's a diagnostic tool. Think of it like a car where the alignment is off.
Right, pulls to one side.
Yeah. Knowing the car naturally pulls to the left doesn't mean you just let it drift into a ditch.
Right, you have to steer.
Exactly. You have to actively steer to the right to keep it on the road. Classical economics always assumed we were these perfect rational calculators.
Which we definitely are not.
Not even close. We rely heavily on heuristics. Mental shortcuts designed by evolution to help us make lightning-fast survival decisions.
So it's like we're trying to run modern financial software on a caveman operating system.
That is a perfect analogy, yes.
Because the brain rewarded quick decisions to survive a tiger, right?
Well,
Not to manage a 401k.
exactly. The mechanisms that kept us alive on the savannah are now actively sabotaging our portfolios.
Wow.
Take loss aversion. This is one of the most documented shortcuts. The psychological pain of losing money registers roughly twice as strongly in the brain as the pleasure of gaining that exact same amount.
Wait, twice as strongly.
Yeah, double.
So finding 20 bucks on the sidewalk gives you a nice little dopamine hit. But losing a $20 bill from your pocket creates an alarm bell that's twice as loud.
Yep. Because evolutionarily, the math of survival is asymmetrical.
Okay, make that make sense.
Well,
Yeah.
if a hunter-gatherer finds an extra day's worth of food, that's a nice bonus. But if they lose a day's worth of food, they might literally starve.
Oh, wow. So a loss is an existential threat.
Exactly. The brain's threat center treats financial losses today the same way. This biological imbalance explains so much destructive behavior.
Like panic selling.
Yes, it's the core reason people panic sell during a market dip. The brain registers the paper loss on a screen as a physical threat. It floods the system with cortisol.
So you just want the pain to stop.
Right, you feel it so intensely, you hit sell just to make it stop, even if it permanently locks in a loss you could have recovered from.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But we can't just uninstall that caveman operating system, right? We're stuck with it.
We are. The goal isn't to eliminate the emotions. It's to recognize that your feelings aren't always giving you accurate data about the reality of the situation.
Which brings up another thing from the sources, present bias.
Right, overweighting the present.
Yeah, overweighting an immediate reward and completely discounting a future one. Because the immediate reward is tangible.
All right.
And the future is just abstract.
Exactly. Which is why buying a new phone today feels like this urgent, undeniable need.
But saving for 10 years from now feels like a chore assigned to someone else.
Someone you don't even know. And this leads to really counterproductive loops, like the disposition effect.
I saw that in the notes from the Chicago Booth School, right?
Yeah. It's this pattern where investors sell their winning positions way too early just to lock in the psychological high of a win.
But they hold the losing ones.
Way too long, purely out of hope. They're just doing everything possible to avoid the pain of admitting defeat.
Okay, so if our threat detection system is making us do all this panic selling, impulse buying, how does someone like Warren Buffett actually accumulate massive wealth? I mean, he can't just turn off his biology.
No, he has the same brain we do. But highly successful people build cognitive bypasses.
A bypass.
Yeah, mental rules. And the 10 rules outlined in our source material are basically a patch for that flawed biological software. They force the slower, analytical part of the brain to take the wheel before the emotional center can react.
Right. And the first rule that really jumped out to me was forcing a separation between price and value.
That distinction is foundational.
Because price is just what it costs right now, today. But value is what it's going to be worth to your future self.
Exactly. So picture a really expensive high-end jacket.
Okay.
The price is the immediate dopamine hit of buying it. But the value is near zero when it's just sitting in the back of your closet a year from now.
Right. Contrast that with, say, buying a book on financial literacy.
Perfect example.
The price might be $20, but the value compounds massively over time.
The power of this rule is all about time. By pausing to ask, what is the actual utility of this to the person I'll be in 5 years? You interrupt that present bias loop.
You force the logical brain to boot up.
Yep. Another big one is the circle of competence rule, sticking only to what you genuinely understand.
Which means ignoring social proof. And that is so hard.
It's incredibly hard, because herd behavior is another survival mechanism.
Right. If the whole tribe is running one way.
Your brain screams at you to follow them because they're probably running from a lion.
So today, if everyone on your feed is buying some new cryptocurrency, your brain thinks you're going to die if you get left behind.
Exactly. But Buffett's rule dictates that the confidence of the crowd is not evidence of accuracy.
Just because it's popular doesn't mean it fits your timeline.
Right. True wealth building is actually really boring. It does not look good on social media.
And when you do make a mistake, as we all do, the sources talk about treating mistakes as data, not as an identity.
Yes. De-identifying failure.
Which is tough when money is so tied up in our egos. Like, you rack up credit card debt, and the immediate societal response is just shame.
But shame is biologically counterproductive. The research shows self-compassion after a setback triggers renewed engagement.
So you look at what went wrong and fix it.
Exactly. But shame triggers avoidance. If you feel deep personal shame about a credit card, your brain views the statement like a predator.
You literally won't even open the mail.
Right. You won't log into the app,
Yeah.
which just lets the compound interest accelerate the problem.
Wow. So by stripping the emotion out, you can think in decades, not days.
You give financial compounding time to work, and psychological compounding too.
Right, building better daily habits. The sources frame this as treating patience as an active skill.
Because culturally, we just think patience means sitting in a waiting room.
Just hoping time passes. But this flips it entirely. It's like going to the gym for your wallet.
I love that analogy.
Every time you successfully delay an urge to act like waiting out a market dip instead of panic selling, you're doing a cognitive rep. You're building a muscle.
And those longitudinal studies from Stanford and Princeton totally validate this. The delayed gratification studies.
Oh, right.
They followed people for decades and found that the ability to tolerate short-term discomfort for a long-term benefit is one of the single strongest predictors of lifelong financial success.
It literally changes your life trajectory.
It really does.
But, okay, let's bring this down to earth. Because billionaire frameworks sound great in theory, but how does this apply to, someone with an average salary?
Or someone starting completely over.
Exactly. Let's look at the real-world case studies from the sources, like Sarah.
Oh, Sarah's story is so relatable.
So relatable. She's a 31-year-old in marketing, and she was caught in this classic impulse loop.
Every time she had a bad meeting at work, she'd go home and buy things online.
Just minor things, but they were draining her savings.
And the breakthrough for her wasn't making a stricter budget.
Right. It was realizing the purchases weren't even about the items.
No, she didn't even care about the clothes.
It was about getting a hit of control. She felt powerless at work all day, so buying something gave her agency.
And her solution was brilliant because she didn't try to use willpower. Willpower drains too fast.
Right. She used the 24-hour rule.
Yeah, a mandatory 24-hour pause for any purchase over a certain amount.
So she engineered a buffer between the trigger and the action. And by the time the day passed, the stress from work was gone, and so was the urge to buy.
Exactly. And then there's Michael's story, which is just a lot of people are quietly dealing with this.
Yeah. 44, recently divorced, and starting over from scratch.
He was completely paralyzed by this fear that he was out of time.
Lying awake, doing the mental math, panicking about retirement.
The perceived loss of time is a massive hurdle, but a counselor helped him reframe it. Instead of obsessing over lost time, they focused on the compounding effect of starting right now.
Even with small amounts.
Right, he just automated a small transfer every month.
And the act of taking agency replaced the panic with direction.
He moved from passive anxiety to active control.
Which brings up a question I think every listener is secretly wondering right now.
What's that?
I know exactly what I should be doing with my money. I know I should save more, spend less, invest early. If the formula is that simple, why can't I just do it?
That is the core of it all. The gap between your knowledge and your behavior isn't an information gap, it's an emotional gap.
We don't need another budgeting app.
We really don't. We need self-awareness. If you are feeling lonely or insecure or chronically stressed, your brain will try to solve that emotional deficit with a financial transaction.
So does this totally bust the myth that being frugal means living this joyless, cheap life?
Completely. The research shows that intentional spending, where you ruthlessly cut what doesn't matter and spend guilt-free on what does, that yields the highest life satisfaction. Frugality isn't deprivation.
It's alignment.
Yes.
And it also busts the myth that you need to be making six figures before you can even start working on this mindset.
Oh, absolutely. The habits scale as your income grows. If you can't manage $1,000 with intentionality, you definitely won't be able to manage $100,000.
The cognitive loops are exactly the same.
The zeros just change.
So if the gap is emotional, then relying on sheer willpower every day is just a losing game.
It's a rigged game.
Because willpower is finite. It's like a phone battery, right?
Exactly. Which is why the final step in the source material is about engineering your environment.
Beating decision fatigue.
Right. Science shows the quality of our choices actually declines the more decisions we make in a day. The brain has a bandwidth limit.
So you wake up at 100%. But after commuting, dealing with your boss, making micro decisions all day.
By 8 p.m., you are at 1%.
And that is exactly when that perfectly curated ad pops up on your feed.
You are physiologically defenseless. Your logical brain is offline.
So you just buy it.
Exactly. This is why the physical factors matter so much, like sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah. When you're sleep deprived, the logical part of your brain slows down, and the emotional center becomes hyperreactive. You are biologically primed to make impulsive, risky financial choices.
Wow.
Even physical clutter in your house drains your cognitive bandwidth.
So we have to change our environment to protect that bandwidth, like automating savings?
Yes. Move the money before you ever see it. It removes the decision entirely.
And adding friction, like deleting shopping apps off your home screen.
Or unsaving your credit card info.
Right. Make yourself physically get up, walk across the room, and type in the numbers.
That tiny bit of friction is often enough to break the impulse loop.
And curating your media, too. Unfollowing accounts that make you feel like you're behind.
Because really, all these shifts aren't about money. They are about fiercely protecting your attention.
Because where attention goes, behavior follows.
Exactly. You bypass the whole perfectionism trap by just making the good choice automatic.
It's so empowering to realize you can just build a fortress around your attention like that.
It changes everything.
Looking back at this whole deep dive, it's clear that building a healthy relationship with wealth means stepping away from the math.
And looking at the mind.
Yeah. Acknowledging those evolutionary traps, like loss aversion. Applying Buffett's rules of value over price.
building patience like a muscle.
And engineering that environment. Anyone can reshape their financial destiny doing this.
The mind really is the ultimate compounding asset.
It really is. And for you listening, just remember, your financial growth isn't a destination. It's a direction you choose daily.
Just one tiny habit at a time.
Right. Even if it's just a 24-hour pause rule or an automated $20 transfer, it adds up massively.
It really does.
And before we go, I know you had one final thought to leave everyone with.
I do. We've talked a lot today about the future self, delaying gratification so the future you can thrive. But there's this fascinating fMRI study out there.
Okay.
When we try to picture our future selves, the brain lights up in the exact same region as when we think of a complete stranger.
Wait, really? A stranger?
Yeah. Biologically, we view our future selves as someone else entirely, which is why it's so easy to steal from them to fund our impulses today.
Oh, wow.
So my question for you to mull over is this. How can you start introducing yourself to the person you're going to become? What small action can you take today to bridge that empathy gap so you stop treating your future financial security like a stranger's problem?
We started out talking about the math problem and that knot in your stomach. But maybe the math isn't what needs fixing at all. We just need to get to know the person we're saving the math for.
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Geeks Mindset has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same thoughtful way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life, and it helps Geeks Mindset reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the join button right next to the Geeks Mindset logo below this video, click it, and become a member of the Mindset Support Circle. Your support helps honest mindset awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Geeks Mindset moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.